coming away with the victory in game number one. A Terriers team that's been hanging around in games throughout this inaugural season of softball. Give them credit. They fought from 6-0 down to get within 3, but also give the Catamounts credit. They kept adding on.
Yeah, they did. That was a big game one win for them. Kind of a springboard is what you're looking for into game two, and they started out with a flurry. Anytime you get a grand slam in the first inning, good things are going to happen, and it did for the Catamounts there. What a start with Wells hitting a grand slam, and then followed that up in the fourth inning. Did Baldwin with another shot of her own, a two-run shot. That's where they got that 6-0 lead. Terriers, as you mentioned, Pete, they didn't. This is a team that'll scrap and fight, and they clawed back or tried to when they scored 3 runs in the 6th inning. Got a couple of base hits, one from Campbell to score a run, and then one from Greenwood, but just not quite enough in a game that saw a great pitching performance by Jewett for Western Carolina. Now the Catamounts will try to do something here to really give them a lift, and that's get a doubleheader sweep.
Tessa Jewett got her 10th win of the season to go to 10-9 on the year. For the Terriers, Abby Greenwood was chased after 1 inning, getting the start here in game number 2. Margaret Axelson, a sophomore, came to this program for Birmingham Southern. What a fine career she had for that Division II school. She faces Lily Bell. First pitch, delivering a strike. Axelson, her conference's Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year a season ago. She's a sophomore originally from the Atlanta area.
She is probably Wofford's best pitcher.
And right back to her off the bat of Bell, and it's out number 1.
And for Wofford, that's news of itself there, getting Lily Bell out, who did a fantastic job in game 1, going 3 for 5, scoring 3 runs.
Maddie Mentel, catcher for this Catamounts team. She was 2 for 4 with a run batted in the opening game. One of her hits a double. So you mentioned Axelson and the good work she's done. Right-handed pitcher for this Terriers team. A lot of drop and really likes to pitch down, says her head coach Chelsea Butler.
Yeah, she not necessarily a power strikeout pitcher, only 37 strikeouts this year, only 16 walks. Pitches to contact, wants to get ground outs. Have the defense behind her make plays. Only a 2.70 ERA, though, and making her 18th appearance.
And again, back to the pitcher. 2 up, 2 down. Both scored 1-3. And quickly 2 away here in the top half of the first, developing much differently than the opening inning did in game 1.
In that opening inning, Catamounts had runners on and a lot of traffic that Greenwood couldn't ultimately work through. Better start for Wofford and Margaret Axelson here in game 2.
Each of these teams coming off good weekends against the teams from Tennessee. Wofford getting its first series win in SoCon play when they took down Chattanooga 2 out of 3 times last week. And Western coming off a good series against ETSU. Baldwin tied her teammate Geraldine Wells with her 6th home run of the season, the second blast they hit in game number 1. Baldwin's a 2-run shot in the 4th inning. Catamounts team came into game 1 hitting .275 on the year. In that opening game, 11 runs, 13 hits, no errors, and their 11-4 win. So their batting average is a team hovering around .280. And they've got some pop. They've now hit 25 home runs in their past 24 games coming into this second contest here today.
Baldwin doing a nice job laying off a couple of borderline inside pitches that were off the plate, but she couldn't get Baldwin to offer them. Could Margaret Axelson.
3-1. Ball to strike on the outside corner. Uncustomarily in that opening game, Wofford pitching 5 walks for a team among the national leaders, tops in the SoCon, having allowed just 60 free passes as a staff coming into this weekend. Foul tip.
That one might have got a piece of Wofford's catcher, Olivia Linzen.
I'll say that looked like, especially based on the reaction of the home plate umpire, Dusty Holden. He immediately walked out of the circle to try to buy Linzen some time.
Catchers and home plate umpires have a special relationship. They'll look out for each other on plays like that.
payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Good start for the Terriers. Margaret Ackelson pitching against Western Carolina for the first time. Nothing doing for the Catamounts, and the Terriers coming up. Terriers come to bat here in the opening inning. Mackenzie Martin, right-hander, a junior from the upstate. Started at Seneca High for the Bobcats. In the circle. Tell me about her, Tom.
Yeah, 0-9 start to the season, 5.32 ERA. Walks have been a bit of an issue, 29 walks, only 30 strikeouts. She's also given up 69 hits in 52 2/3 innings. So if you're Wofford, go up with the mentality of swing away, and that's exactly how they'll start the game.
Platt with the leadoff single, and she stands at first. So the Terriers, who didn't get a hit until the 5th inning of game number 1, reversing that trend right away.
Great point. I think the hits are there. Martin's going to be around the strike zone despite not striking out a ton of players. One attempt there missed.
Abby Campbell, left fielder for the Wofford team. She got the first Terriers hit in game number 1. That came in the 5th inning. And she went 1 for 3. Drove in a run. Actually, she was the first base runner reaching on a first inning walk. Sacrifice executed nicely there by Campbell. Moves the runner up in a Terrier in scoring position with 1 away.
Yeah, good job by Campbell moving Platt over. Gracie Parker will stand in. They moved her up in the order. She hit 9th in game 1, up to 3rd here.
So Platt at second. Gracie Parker, the right fielder. She batted down in the order with that 1 for 3 showing in game number 1.
Wofford would love to reverse course here, Pete. They falling down 4-0 in the first. They just never really got their feet back under them, although they did cut it to 3 at one point. Jumping out to a lead could really help this club out.
Boy, Campbell getting a big secondary lead.
She is.
2-1 now the count on Parker.
Makes you think that if Mintel doesn't fire one back to the pitcher, she may take off from second.
Good job behind the plate by Mintel to keep that ball in front of her.
Good hitters count here for Parker.
Chop foul.
Platt's got pretty good speed out there at second for Wofford, even though she's only stolen 3 bases. Good base runner.
Platt, the runner at second. She's been getting that good secondary lead. Low for ball 4, so first and second now with just 1 away. Early traffic for the Wofford team here in the home first. Abby Gossett, one plate appearance in game one as a pinch hitter, and she had a single.
I think she only saw one pitch. I think on the first pitch.
Right.
She lofted a single into shallow left and then was relieved for a pinch runner.
Gossett in the starting lineup as the designated player in this game two. Abernathy was the DP in the opening game for the Wofford team. Gossett stands in, hitting .214 on the season, and takes ball two.
Started the first couple of games for Wofford and making her 17th appearance. She's another local product. Makes her home in Inman, played at Chapman.
2-1 the count. Western 13-21 now, and 4-6 in the SoCon with that game one victory. Wofford now also a 4-6 Southern Conference record, 14-18 in this their inaugural season. 6-9 here at home. Shot to left, deep. One hops the wall. Baldwin never had a chance. It'll score one. Here comes the throw to the plate. Out. The tag on Parker. Platt came around with the game's first run, and now two away, and at second base stands Gossett, driving home the run.
Bang bang play at the plate. Home plate umpire Dustin Holton said that the tag got applied by Mintel, but that's what Wofford wanted. It was some aggressive base running there, but a shot off the bat there of Abby Gossett, who short hopped the wall.
7-5-2 on the put out at home. Quick turn and throw by the third baseman McPherson. So right away we get a pitching change. I don't know if this is based on Martin having any kind of issue. Taylor Waitley, I should say the new pitcher is Taylor Norton, and we'll tell you about her when we come back. Well, Western Carolina has three pitchers, three available. And here, through 2 outs in the bottom of the first, they've gone to the third on their staff in this doubleheader.
Yeah, Taylor Norton, redshirt sophomore out of Chesterfield, Virginia, transfer from Villanova, will come in relief and make her 18th appearance. She is 3-3 on the year, ERA of 3.95, 16 walks, 30 strikeouts thus far on the season.
She'll face Caitlin Greenwood. 2 outs, runner on second. That one behind the batter. It'll allow an advance by Gossett, so she stands at third. They credited her with an RBI double. Greenwood is the player who in game number 1 picked up the first Terriers hit, leading off the 5th inning as Wofford was being no hit and shut out to that point. And she came home and scored after a leadoff triple. the first run of game number 1 for the Terriers. Rolled on the right side. Nice job by the second baseman. And on to first with a throw is Henry, and the Terriers retired here in the first. So they get a run and lead 1-0 as we head to inning number 2 here at Wofford, game 2 of a doubleheader on Ingles College Softball. Top half of the second inning. 1-0 lead for Margaret Axelson and the Wofford Terriers. Getting an 11th start. Her first season at Wofford with all of her teammates in terms of playing games, and transfer from Birmingham Southern. Really good career at that Division II school. Now looking to continue on in D1. And she faces Maya McPherson, the third baseman, to start things out here in the Catamount second inning. McPherson in that first game, 1 for 4. Also reached on a walk. Made a nice throw to cut down the would-be second run in the bottom half of the first inning as they're able to get Parker at the plate.
Yeah, and you never know when that may end up looming large. Did a nice job on the relay. Threw inside of the plate, which meant she could avoid the runner and let Mintel catch it and put a tag on.
1-1 pitch. Hard shot through the left side. The first hit of the game for the Catamounts. A leadoff single here in the top of the second.
Hard hit ball by McPherson right through the hole between short and third. Nice job by Western answering the Wofford run with at least getting a hit and a base runner.
Sydney Dirks did not start game 1, appeared as a pinch hitter. The reigning Southern Conference Player of the Week. She was 0 for 1 in that pinch hitting appearance, but freshman off to a really good start in her career at the bat. Fielding has been an issue, and she had been their starting shortstop, but for this afternoon's action, they've moved Bell over to the left side of the infield, and she did a nice job with the glove in our opening game. Hard shot past Devine. Second single to start things out here in inning number 2 for the Catamounts.
Almost exactly the same spot, right under the glove of Devine, who made an attempt, but that ball was rifled in the left field.
Well, here's Geraldine Wells. She came up in the opening inning of game number 1 with the bases loaded and delivered her 6th home run of the season. Catamounts were off and running with a 4-0 lead. Trying to move the runners up.
How it works sometimes. First game, you come up with an opportunity, bases loaded, you hit a grand slam. Now you got runners at first and second. Your coach is asking you to sacrifice them over.
She made a fantastic play, a diving catch on a ball in the opening game to rob Gracie Parker. Again, showing butt, laying off, and taking strike 2. Wells, one of the Californians in this lineup for a school based in Cullowhee, North Carolina. But you got to know their head coach Jim Clift lived in San Diego before taking on the Catamounts job. Gets away. It'll be out because there was a runner occupying first, but the runners will advance. So that's one out in the inning, but now second and third. So that essentially worked as a sacrifice.
It does. She gets to goes down as a strikeout victim, but because of the pass ball, the runners are able to move up.
Natalie Henry, the second baseman, 1 for 3 with an RBI in the first game. Stays outside. And she is the benefit of the move of Bell over to short, getting a second straight start at second base.
A junior from Lexington, Kentucky, did a nice job defensively in game one. You know, it's what we've heard that we talked with the folks. Western Carolina defense has been what's been their Achilles, and they played an exceptional defensive game in game one, got the hitting, and then got the big win because of that.
And that stays on the outside edge. 2-1 the count.
To adjust to Dustin Holton. He's calls the ball and strike a little later than what we saw from Ricky Sexton in game one.
There is a delay. 2-2 now the count on Henry. Catamounts team spending a lot of time on the road these days. This is their third 5-game road trip in the past month. They're in the middle of doing just that. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout so far for Terrier starter Margaret Axelson.
And that was at a perfect time with runners on second and third and less than 2 outs. That is prime strikeout time, and she got it there. So now an out away from getting out of this.
Becca Wansek, the right fielder, did not bat in the opening game because their fine starting pitcher Tessa Jewett is also a really good hitter. So
yeah.
She essentially hit in her place. Her first plate appearance of this doubleheader, and an opportunity to get her team on the board and maybe give them a lead. But she's in an 0-2 hole.
This is Axelson got her right where she wants her here. She's got a really deadly off-speed pitch that sometimes it's a straight change, sometimes it's a screwball. Would not be surprised at all to see that here on an 0-2 count.
Laid off, 1-2. Yeah, Axelson not necessarily a strikeout pitcher looking at her numbers coming in, but it's been effective. In fact, the most recent 3 outs she's recorded have been by way of the strikeout.
Yeah. All right, a little gathering of the umpires here. I have no idea what this could be.
No clue as to what they could be talking about. Maybe a clarification of the count,
possibly,
based on the fact that our home plate umpire Dustin Holton was just looking at his clicker. And 1-2. Axelson about to deliver to Wansek. Tough pitch hit, fouls it away.
That ball looked like it might have been a rise ball. It was moving up. And Wansek did a nice job fighting it off to stay alive.
Two and two the count. Axelson likes to live down, according to her head coach Chelsea Butler, a former pitcher in her own right. A very nasty drop. Once again, Wansek does a nice job to stay alive.
We saw this in game one with Waitley battling and battling and battling and eventually getting a walk to load the bases, and that ultimately led to a grand slam. See how this plays out in game two.
Another 2-2 pitch coming to the right fielder for the Catamounts. And the count goes full. 3-2, runners on second and third. And fouled away once again. 170 hitter as this game begins. Wansick.
She's not looking like a 170 hitter up there with how she's battling.
She does have some pop, 3 home runs, 9 batted in. Another 3-2 pitch. Too short. Handled there by Greenwood. On to first, and the Catamounts are retired. Couple of hits in the inning, but they're stranded. Middle of the second, here at Wofford. A 1-0 advantage for the Terriers, trying to get a doubleheader split on Ingles College softball. Bottom of the second, 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Terriers. Desiree Devine, she was active over at third base in game number 1. Had to handle some hard shots. Another one of the really good-looking freshman players for this Terriers team. They were building a program around.
Yeah, she is. She's a steady force at third. She's not bad with the stick. When she gets on, she makes some things happen on the base path. Game 1, she wore out the shortstop, Bell. Hit 3 grounders to her and was thrown out every time.
She began the doubleheader hitting .234 on the year. Terriers team that hasn't demonstrated a lot of power, and they've been a very good pitching ball club in the early stages of season number 1, trying to get the hitting going. They did show some life in the late innings of our first ball game here today. Trying to reach by way of a bunt. Up with it on to first. Throw by Norton that got a little squirrely there, but handled well by the second baseman, Natalie Henry.
Yeah, good job by Henry. Coming over from her second base position after the bunt attempt by Devine and hanging with that ball.
So 1 away. Megan Towery made what at the time didn't seem to be all that big of a deal, but with 4 runs in and runners on in the top half of the first inning of game number 1, I thought she made an above-average play going back and reaching over her shoulder on the warning track for the final out. Kept the game 4-0. Terriers eventually got as close as 7-4, but that gets over her head. Suddenly you're looking up at a more of a crooked number before you even come up to the plate if you're Wofford.
Yeah, the hole was already big enough. She saved it from getting any even deeper.
In the air on the infield. Third baseman McPherson for out number 2.
Well, Norton's come in and settled things down for Western Carolina. Exactly what you would hope to see if you're a Catamounts fan.
They had a fine pitcher in their program, Jamie Eilers, but injuries past couple of years really derailed her success. Center field, first pitch swinging by Bigham, and she had the opportunity to come back this year, elected not to, but nonetheless, those who have remained trying to hold the line Terriers go in order in the second. They lead 1-0. Top of the third here at Hope Field on the campus of Wofford College. And we welcome you back on our Ingles College softball telecast. Thanks to our wonderful friends at Ingles Markets. Second of two. If you weren't with us for the first game, it was an 11-4 victory for the Catamounts. Kennedy Stuman leads things off. First baseman who in game number one for this Western Carolina team was 0 for 3. Axelson on a mission, 3 strikeouts so far and ahead in the count here, 0-2.
Stuman was the only Catamount starter to not record a hit in game one, so you know she would love to correct that and start off game two with a hit if she could.
Axelson trying to get another victory on the season. 4-4 coming in, second on this Wofford team in wins. Transfer from Birmingham Southern. And it stays outside of the 9th place hitter in the Catamounts order. Hard shot. Devine knocks it down. Up with it. Greenwood. Throw high. And making the turn, the batter, Stuman. Ooh. And first base umpire Scott Condry ruling that she is safe despite the fact she turned towards second.
Going to be ruled a single. Let's get another look at this. It looked like she made a pretty aggressive turn towards second. See the ball off Devine's glove straight to Greenwood. Had to rush through a hard throw. She quickly put on the brakes, but that was an aggressive turn toward first, or excuse me, towards second after touching first base.
I'm wondering what the reasoning would be, perhaps as to why she was then tagged but wasn't called out.
She only took one step. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Bell bunting out at second. Her speed, there was no way they were going to get a double play. Looked like she was bunting more for a base hit than necessarily to sacrifice. So Bell will now stand at first as Stuman is thrown out on the play. Bell, the top base stealer in the Southern Conference coming into the weekend, 20 of 25. She now stands at first for Maddie Mentel, who grounded out to the pitcher her first time up. Axelson retired the first 2 batters in the game on ground outs. Bell going, delayed steal, and she's out.
It was a great throw by Lindzen on the money to second base. And anytime you throw out one of the leading base stealers in a league, that's a big time play. And so all of a sudden the bases are empty here for Western.
You'll see 6 times she's been caught stealing in 26 tries this year as Bell is thrown out. Lenzen, the freshman, getting a start behind the plate here in game 2. Another Floridian on this Terriers roster out of Winter Garden.
Nice job by Caitlin Greenwood as well to catch that throw and put the tag on and show the umpire the ball still in the mitt.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout to retire the side. 4 so far for Margaret Axelson. A little bit of noise for the Catamounts, but nothing to show for it. Middle of the third. A 1-0 lead for Wofford on Western. Bottom of the third inning, and the Wofford Terriers 1-0 lead on Western Carolina. Taylor Norton on in relief of the starter Mackenzie Martin. Actually came on in the opening inning after Wofford had pushed across its run. Olivia Lenzen just made the nice play to get the base runner Bell attempting to steal second, and the freshman leads things off for the Terriers here in the third.
Only a 184 hitter, making her 20th start. Certainly has shown off her defensive skills already in the arm.
1 for her last 17 as she stands in and into left field. And what do you know? Gets a hit to lead things off here in the third inning. Past McPherson, the third baseman.
Good start for Wofford. Sometimes a big defensive play kind of charges you up for the offensive side of things, as maybe the throw out of the leading base stealer in the SoCon got her energized.
Top of the order, Kate Platt single to lead off in the first and came around and scored on the RBI double by Gossett. On that play, Reese Parker was thrown out trying to come home as well. Score from first. Platt in game number 1 was 1 for 4. She's 9 for her last 23. She's one of the hot Terrier hitters, and batting average up over 400 as the day began. But did not have enough plate appearances for team leadership, and now we're going to get a runner in place of the catcher Lenzen, as the Terriers will turn to Bailey Betzel.
Trying to get a little more speed on the base paths there, particularly since the catcher can re-enter.
Off speed and in for a strike. Of course, the softball rule allowing for a designated runner. Lenzen probably now down in the dugout putting her catching equipment on.
Exactly right.
So some added benefit there. Hard shot past Bell and short into left. And a second straight hit to start things out in the Terriers' third.
Ball was rifled by Platt. Bell did the best she could, but that was a single off the bat. That moves Betzel down to second. Betzel, should have mentioned, redshirt freshman from Greenville, played at Wade Hampton High School.
So Abby Campbell had an RBI single in the first inning. Little bloop back of short, and Bell can't corral it in foul territory.
She had a long way to run to try to track that down, and then attempted to make an over-the-shoulder grab and couldn't secure it.
It would have been an above-average play to get the out. Strike one on the batter, Campbell. And a little liner snagged by Bell. Good job by Betzel right behind her to dive back into second, and there was no chance to get Platt at first. Out number one here in the third for the Terriers.
Hard hit ball by Campbell, but quick reflexes by Bell, going a step to her left to snag that one.
Here's Parker. Walked in the first inning. On the double off the left field wall by Gossett. Parker tried to come all the way around from first, but was thrown out on the plate after Platt had come across with the only run to this point in the game. Parker out of Concord, North Carolina. Left side, Bell backhand, shovels ahead, gets the force out. Nice play by Lily Bell. Again, had been playing primarily at second base. Got the start in game one at short. And looking quite comfortable there. Really good all-around player.
Absolutely, and that's the only thing she can do. That ball has taken her into the hole. You've got to field it and go with your momentum, and a nice job there by McPherson, the third baseman, to get over and cover the bag and be there for the soft toss to get the lead runner and the second out.
Gossett the RBI double in the first pitch swinging, popped up on the right side. Henry puts it away for out number three. So the Terriers got the first two runners on, but they strand two. Head to the fourth. Wofford has a 1-0 lead on Ingles College softball. Head to the fourth inning here in Spartanburg on Ingles College softball, presented by Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. And with Tom Henson, Pete Hannity, Wofford trying to get a split and trying to get win number 5 in their first SoCon season. And looking for a 15th win overall. 1-0 advantage on Western Carolina, which took game number 1 11-4. Savannah Baldwin hit her 6th home run of the season in game number 1. First time up in this ball game, went down swinging against the Terriers. Margaret Axelson, one of 4 strikeouts so far for the Wofford sophomore.
Baldwin's homer in game 1 was not cheap. She hit it just to the left of the scoreboard and showed that she's got some power. So you've got to be careful with Baldwin at the plate.
6 home runs this year. She had had just 1 coming into the season in her career, and she's a senior. And that's a line shot into right center field. Going to get down and head to the wall. Baldwin makes the turn. She'll head to second, heading to third, and she slides in with a triple.
Found the gap, and that's a heads-up play. When you're going into second, the ball is in front of you. You can see it. She decided to take the chance and try to get into third, and she did with her second triple of the season.
So, leadoff runner now in scoring position, and that's a fair ball. Devine caught a piece of it. Baldwin scores, heading into second, McPherson. Let's see how they score it. And the game's tied at 1 apiece. Looked like Devine got a glove on it while it was in fair territory.
It is a hit.
And they will score to hit. It was a tough ball to handle. So McPherson, the run batted in. That's her 15th of the season. She's second on their team. And it's tied at 1-1, and down to second base, McPherson now. Sydney Dirks singled. Her first time up in the second inning. Getting a start here in game number 2. Another good-looking freshman playing on either side here. She came to them from Mocksville, North Carolina, and you figure with the addition of Bell and McPherson, their third baseman, that's a pretty good group of first-year players to have in your lineup.
That's a good point. That means you've got a pretty solid left side of the infield for the few years to come, and Dirks can work some things out defensively, and you've got something to build around for sure. They have hit the ball hard here in the top of the 4th.
Two and two the count.
McPherson with an enormous secondary lead after that pitch. She was about halfway to third before deciding to head back to second.
Dirks goes the other way. Right fielder over. Parker makes the catch. And McPherson holds at second. Out number 1 of the inning.
McPherson's first move was towards third, and I think that cost her. I think if she breaks back to the bag, she may be able to tag up. But by the time the ball landed in the glove out there of Parker, she was just getting back to the bag.
Geraldine Wells, the big blow in the first game. Grand slam in the opening inning. 6 homers on the season now, 14 batted in. Oh, and 1 the count. Chance to give her team the lead with a base hit here. And a hard shot right to the shortstop, and Greenwood might have had a chance to double up the runner, but Platt not able to get there in time. The ball was so hard hit, it would be impossible for Platt to be in position.
Yeah, good job by Greenwood to go down on one knee and pick that liner off. Right idea to go to second, but you're right, Pete. There was no way Platt could get to the bag in time.
So now 2 away. Runner remains at second. Natalie Henry, second baseman, and she did go. So strike 1. 1 of 4 to strike out against Axelson. Henry getting the start in game 1. It was 1 for 3. Drove home a run. And a hard shot backhand. Devine and a foul ball. She fielded in foul territory. For a second, it looked like it almost looked like she got it right there before crossing the line.
I thought she did. I was a little surprised she didn't throw, but clearly she heard the umpires yell foul. So 1-2 now.
Henry, the 7th place batter in the Catamounts lineup. And a swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Axelson, but Western Carolina evens things up on the RBI single by Maya McPherson. Middle of the 4th here in Spartanburg. 1-1 our score. Bottom of the 4th, now a 1-1 game. Western Carolina trying to get a doubleheader sweep. Catamounts now 13-21 in the season. We talked about it in game number 1 as Caitlin Greenwood leads things off for the Terriers and takes strike 1. 17 of their 21 losses coming in 10 and 7 game losing streak.
Yeah, that's just a ball bounces one way or another differently, and you're in much better shape there.
Greenwood grounded out to second her first time up. This time a pop out to first. Steuben puts it away for out number 1 in foul territory. Desiree Devine.
You know, a lot of mid-major conferences, these clubs are all gearing up for the conference tournament, and I think both of these teams feel like they will have a chance to go there and make some noise. The way Wofford pitches it, I don't know that anybody will want to face them. And you know, Western has played really good defense in a game and a half. They continue that with the great starting pitching we saw in game 1 from Jewett. And then this team can certainly hit the ball. They could be a tough out in the tournament.
And Devine taking a strike on the outside corner. We told you in a series sweep against Furman, 12 errors committed by the Catamounts. That's just going to drive you nuts. And Jim Clift, their longtime head coach now in his 13th season, expressing just that. Devine pops it up short right, coming in and making a nice running catch. Becca Wansek. That looked like it may drop in no man's land for just a moment.
That had Bermuda Triangle written all over it, but Wansek came sprinting over and did a nice job. The other thing she was doing, you could see it, was she was calling for the ball, so there was no chance that either the second baseman or the center fielder were going to get in her way there with Wells and Henry converging.
This time of the day, right field becomes the sun field. You could see that she and also the Terriers right fielder Parker with their sunglasses on, because the sun sets behind the left field side, and we're still good ways from that happening, but it's at an angle now where pop flies on the right side can be tough.
Yep.
Megan Towery, she popped out to third base her first time up. Freshman center fielder for this Wofford team. Second on the team in batting when the day began at 283. Game number 1, she was 0 for 2. That's going to drop foul.
She's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Give Norton credit. She came in a little bit of a mess there in the first inning, and she has really impressed here over the 3 innings that she's worked.
Terriers had 2 on and 1 out. Gossett delivered the run-scoring double, but Wofford got no more. Ground out to third. Towery going down. The Terriers retired in order here in the 4th. It's a 1-1 game. Wofford in Western Carolina. Second of our doubleheader on Ingles College softball. A 1-1 game as we head to the top of the 5th. Western Carolina. Becca Wanzik leads things off. 8th place hitter in their order. Round out to shorter, first time up against Margaret Axelson. Trying to get the Terriers a split of this Saturday doubleheader and set up a rubber match on Sunday. And first pitch swinging, lined into center field. And a base hit. Wanzik did not bat in the opening game. She played right field, but she has a 6th hit in the contest for the Catamounts.
Keep doing that. She'll figure out a way to get her bat in the lineup now. 1 for 2 on the day.
Kennedy Stuman singled her first time up in the 3rd inning. 1-6-0 for the Catamounts, 1-4-0 for the Terriers.
Would think we would see a sacrifice bunt here.
And she lays it down. Axelson on to first. Sacrifice 1-4, and now a runner in scoring position with 1 away for the Catamounts here in the 5th.
And I think this runs are going to be at a premium with these two pitchers, the way they're throwing. The other thing it does is you've got a runner now at second with arguably the best hitter for Western up at the plate.
And a player establishing herself as one of the best hitters in all of the SoCon. Lily Bell, the freshman. Did she offer? See if they appeal down to 3rd. They will. And no swing, so it's ball 1 to Bell, who has grounded out to the pitcher and reached on a fielder's choice after getting 3 hits in game number 1, and a hard shot right back to Axelson and on to first for out number 2. Handled well by the Terriers pitcher. She didn't even try to look back the base runner Wanzik, who moves up to 3rd but now stands there with 2 away.
Excellent job by Axelson fielding her position. We saw the first 2 batters of this game both ground out to her, and that one was a little more difficult. See if she now can strand a leadoff single.
Maddie Mentel 0 for 2, ground out to Axelson and a strikeout. 1 of 5 so far for the Terriers sophomore. 2 for 4 with a run batted in game number 1. 10 for her last 31, so she's been on a good roll. 329 batting average, second on their team to Bell. Mantell, a player also known for her strength. Back in her home area of Athens, Georgia, at a gym there, she holds the deadlift weightlifting record. So she's a catcher, brings a lot of strength to that position, and has only one home run this year. I'm sure she'd love to turn some of that strength into power at the plate. Awaiting a 1-2 pitch. And the count evens at 2-2.
You want your catcher to be strong. They're gonna take a beating back there behind the plate over the course of a season. So
not necessarily a championship deadlifter in weightlifting, but by gosh, you'll take it if that's the case.
Absolutely.
2-2. And the count goes full. Axelson trying to keep Wanzik right there at third and keep this a 1-1 game and get her team back in the dugout.
Got a good hitter in Baldwin on deck too, so pick your poison here.
Little number in front of home plate, going to be a tough play, and Axelson not able to make it, and the Catamounts take the lead as Wanzik comes across. That ball traveled no more than what, maybe 5 to 8 feet away from home plate, but an RBI for Mantell. Give her 11 on the season, and Western has its first lead of game number 2.
Sometimes it's not necessarily how you hit it, but where you hit it, and she couldn't have rolled that ball out there any better.
And a hard shot to Devine at third off the bat of Baldwin. And that'll do it for the Catamounts here in the 5th inning. But a hit and a run. And Western has a 2-1 advantage. Middle of the 5th here in Spartanburg.
Bingham.
2-1, Western Carolina leads. A reminder, Ingles College baseball returns coming up on May 1st at 5 p.m. We're in Cullowhee, where Western Carolina's baseball squad takes on the Spartans of USCFC. Join us May 1st, 5 p.m. Ingles College baseball, right where you're watching. Well, here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, the Wofford Terriers, which scored a run in the first to take the initial lead, now find themselves trailing by a run against Taylor Norton and the Catamounts. Ball one delivered to the Terriers' Allie Bigham, the first baseman.
Norton came on in relief of Martin and has done a really nice job for the Catamounts. As we said earlier, got him out of the first, but then has been very efficient since.
Bouncing one up there, 2-0. Wofford's baseball team last night, 14 innings. They scored 2 in the top of the 14th down in Miami against Florida International. Got a 6-4 win, part of a non-conference weekend series for them. But what a huge win on the road, because FIU, any team in Florida on any level is going to have some talent.
Absolutely. And the other thing that a win like that does in extra innings is it prevents your guys from exploring South Beach because you played too late. So back to the hotel and I'm not sure that's how J.J. Edwards, the head coach of Wofford, drew it up, but I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
3-0 on Bigham, leading things off in the Terriers' half of the 5th inning. And traffic on the base paths in the 3rd. Couldn't do anything with it. Retired in order in the 4th, and now 3-1 the count on Bigham. Norton on relief of the starter Martin. It was all the way back in the 1st inning that she came on. Off speed, good pitch right down the middle. Fooling Bigham and making it a full count at 3-2.
Bigham clearly looking for something else, as that was a well-crafted off-speed pitch.
Payoff coming. And a called strike 3. Nice job coming back to get Bigham by Taylor Norton for out number 1.
Got her with 2 strikes with the off-speed stuff, and then came back with something hard there, and she couldn't pull the trigger on it. So, as you said, Pete, that's a nice comeback by the pitcher, Taylor Norton.
First strikeout of a Terrier in this game. Olivia Lenzen, the catcher, who singled her first time up, getting a start here in game 2. Made a really nice throw to cut down the top base stealing threat in the SoCon this year, Lily Bell. Top half of that 3rd inning, and a hard shot, but the second baseman Henry is there for out number 2. Lenzen, good contact each time up, but retired that time. Top of the order, Kate Platt. A couple of hits so far in the contest, and 3 hits in the doubleheader. Singled in the 1st, singled in the 3rd. Scored the lone Terriers run, driven home on an RBI double by Abby Gossett in that 1st inning. To left field, back on it, Baldwin for out number 3. So the Terriers go quietly in their half of the 5th inning. And that's now 7 in a row set down by Norton. Head of the 6th, Catamounts a 2-1 lead on Ingles College softball. Sixth inning on Ingles College softball, presented by Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. Our friend from Ingles, Melissa Level, join us in game number 1. Of course, matchup here, Wofford and Western Carolina, both Ingles schools, as well as all the good work that Ingles does throughout the Southern Conference. Maya McPherson on the ground to second base. Katie Platt to first. And that's out number 1.
Yeah, what a great partnership between Ingles and the league and the schools around the league. That's just such a great thing that's working well for everybody. And Ingles does a lot here in the Spartanburg area and also up in the Asheville area, Cullowhee area.
Yeah. So an all Ingles battle. And of course, I wasn't going to miss the opportunity in game number 1 to note that the starting catcher for the Terriers, Hope Ingle.
That's right.
Easily has most favored player status with her last name.
She was going to be player of the game no matter what she did.
Absolutely. And she did some good things.
Yeah.
In the losing effort for Wofford, and as a result, Western Carolina trying to get a sweep. Sydney Dirks 1 for 2 in game 2, getting the start as a designated player. And taking the strike. Axelson has pitched quite well, and in fact, the go-ahead run for the Catamounts in the 5th inning. A ball in front of home plate that was just placed in the perfect spot, and with the runner going up the line at first, it was going to be difficult for either the catcher Lenzen or the pitcher Axelson to throw her out.
It's unfortunate that she's down 2-1. She hasn't pitched like a player that should be on the losing end right now, but give Western credit for some timely hits and some well-placed hits.
And a called strike 3. Again, we have a delayed call from our home plate umpire, Dustin Holton. That'll be the 6th strikeout of the game, first time that Axelson has gotten a Catamount looking. Carolyn Wells, the grand slam in game number 1. 0 for 2 here in the nightcap, and one of the 6 strikeouts. It just occurred to me, Hope Ingle, the Wofford starting catcher in game 1, not only a very fitting last name for our telecast, but for her home ballpark.
Absolutely.
Hope Field.
Absolutely. She's got it going on the first name and the last name.
Wells, a senior from Menifee, California, at Paloma Valley High School. Right field, fair or foul, it's going to hit just inside the line. And a 2-out single for the Catamount center fielder.
That was a pitch on the outer part of the plate, and she just went with it. Put a good swing on it and had it drop in front of Parker out and right.
Natalie Henry has gone down swinging her first 2 times up. Already both ends of the doubleheader at second base. Take strike 1. So this jewel of a softball stadium, the latest addition to a fabulous athletic complex they have here at Wofford. And pitch is fouled away. Tom Henson, you were a student here back in the
90s.
90s.
Yeah.
So you've seen.
I've seen it
just
all
about
change.
every cinder block and every crane and.
Yeah. Quite an enhancement of the athletic facilities. Weren't bad back in the Division II days, but certainly Division I now. Wofford has some incredible facilities, and the other thing that's not just for the student athletes that are participating, but for fans to come and watch, whether it's football, basketball, volleyball, softball, baseball, soccer, they're all good places, and that's the case around most of the Southern Conference.
Yeah, some great facilities around this league, and this softball facility just the latest. I just like what they were able to do on not a large piece of land here, but they were able to fit field with very good and very natural dimensions for softball.
Got to think that at some point, probably in the next couple of years, Wofford will be hosting the Southern Conference Championship tournament here.
That would be a good facility for it.
Yeah, just told next year. So
next
there you
year.
go.
So there you go. 200 down the lines, 220 to center. Pitch stays outside. This would be a great facility for it, and of course this community would embrace it. And
absolutely.
Plenty of restaurants and hotels nearby, so that'll be exciting.
And Spartanburg kind of central to the league as well, not putting anybody out as far as driving distance.
Roll to first. That's where Bigham will step on the bag. And the Catamounts retired here in the 6th. A runner stranded. A 2-1 lead for Western on the road on Ingles College softball. With Tom Henson, P. Hannity back at Hope Field here at Wofford. Bottom half of the 6th inning in a 2-1 game. Western Carolina trying to get themselves back within a game of 500 in the Southern Conference. Both teams 4 and 6 as game 2 is played here. Abby Campbell, freshman left fielder, leads things off for Wofford. Sacrificed in the first. Lined out to the shortstop Bell in the third.
Norton has found something with that off-speed pitch. She has got Wofford off stride completely.
1-1 the count. Campbell in game 1, 1 for 3 with an RBI single, also a walk for a good ways in that ball game. She had been the Lone Terriers base runner with a first inning walk. And chopper to short, Bell on to first. Ball was spinning as it went into the glove of the Catamount shortstop.
You will see some balls come off bats in softball that have some wicked spin on them.
Gracie Parker, the right fielder, thrown out at the plate trying to score on the double by Gossett back in the first inning. After she'd reached by way of a walk. Been on base for 2 times up in this game, reached on a fielder's choice back in the third. And falls behind here 0-2. Boy, what a boost Taylor Norton is giving Jim Clifton, this Catamounts team. Again, they have only 3 active pitchers on their roster. They got a complete game victory out of Tessa Jewett in game number 1. She improved to 10-9 in the season in their 11-4 triumph. Started out with Mackenzie Martin, a junior out of Seneca, here in game 2, but she didn't last very long. Back in the first inning, on came Norton in relief after the Terriers had pushed across a run. Just 2/3 of an inning of work for Martin, and Norton's been in the circle since.
She has been very efficient. Has not thrown many pitches in the strike zone, pitching to contact, and the improvements you've seen from Western defensively here today.
1-2. And the count evens. Terriers made a late charge in game number 1 after falling behind 6-0 and eventually 7-1. They pulled within 7-4 after 6, but the Catamounts a 4 spot in the 7th. Some key insurance runs and their 11-4 win. 2-2. Watch out over there in the Catamounts dugout. Abby Gossett waits on deck. He is one of the 4 Terrier hits and the lone RBI. Well, I'll tell you, the catcher Mintel still sure thought that was going to be called a 3rd strike.
She was ready to throw it down to first. Held her throw to first, waiting on Dustin Holton to ring it up. He did not.
It's close. Parker better be swinging this time, and she does. Backhand try by Bell, and the Terriers have a 1-out base runner. Let's see how they score that.
They scored a hit.
It'll be the 5th in the game and the 2nd for Parker. Terriers now with 5 hits as a team and a 1-out base runner in a 1-run game here in the 6th inning.
That's another one that came off with some spin, and it just ate Bell up as that ball hit her glove.
Here's Gossett. First pitch swinging, looper into left, gonna fall in for a base hit. 2 hits in the game for the designated player for the Terriers. Now 1st and 2nd, and still just 1 away. I
would imagine Wofford goes with a pinch runner here for Gossett.
And they will. So Parker at second represents the tying run. And the pinch runner will be Hannah Maddox, junior for this Terrier team.
Hannah from right up the road in Inman, played at Landrum High School, transfer over from Spartanburg Methodist College. So she has toured Spartanburg County.
I was going to say, trying to plant as many diamonds as she can or call as many a home park. Little number up in front of the plate. Greenwood out at first. That works as a sacrifice. Won't be ruled that way, but Caitlin Greenwood effectively moving up the runners. So second and third now 2 away. And a big opportunity here.
Yeah, good play by Kennedy Stuman there. That ball also had some spin on it. She got it. Made a sure tag of Greenwood to make sure you get that second out.
Here's Devine, 0 for 2 in our second game. Freshman third baseman looks at ball 1. And 0 for 5 in the doubleheader, trying to snap out of an 0 for 17. Cape Coral, Florida native, down in the southwestern part of the peninsula. Strike one delivered to even the count.
There's a situation here where runners are 2 outs will be going on contact. So something, a grounder, something that gets out into the outfield will score 1 and has a possibility of scoring 2, as Maddox does have good speed at second.
Devine skies it high to left and deep and back on it. Baldwin makes the catch on the warning track. That one had a chance, wind blowing in from left field. Not sure if that kept it in the park. Devine flirting with the long ball. Baldwin was there to retire the side. Head to the 7th, 2-1 Catamounts. Top of the 7th, Catamounts looking for some insurance with a 2-1 lead, going for a doubleheader sweep. Becca Wanzik, who scored the go-ahead run in the 5th inning on the little dribbler in front of home plate off the bat of Mentel, will lead things off. Western trying to turn things from a slow start in SoCon play. Second base Platt for out number 1. And again, one of those teams that, as we venture toward mid-April here, trying to build the right kind of momentum heading into the SoCon tourney. Wofford finds themselves in another tight ball game. That's been the story in this inaugural season.
It has. They mentioned earlier, only been run ruled 3 times this year. First year of the program. They want to keep it right here at a 1-run deficit and give themselves a chance in the bottom of the 7th to walk it off, or at least tie it.
Stuman, hard shot up the middle into center field for a base hit. Axelson almost made another nice defensive play, but just couldn't get the glove down in time. Catamounts swept a doubleheader against North Carolina Central back on April 4th. The series win at ETSU last weekend. They lost the middle game, so trying to start things out with a doubleheader sweep. And they've got a runner on first with one out here in the 7th and a 2-1 game. Reagan Janning, pinch runner for Stuman. And here's Bell. Twice has grounded out to the pitcher. And also grounded into a fielder's choice and was caught stealing back in the 3rd inning. Hard shot, Devine, second for 1, and a fast batter running. No chance to get 2, but it's now 2 away here, and Bell stands at first.
It's been an interesting decision here for the Western coaching staff. Do you send Bell, top base stealer in the league with 20, but was thrown out earlier by Lindsay, but you'd love to try to get another run in here.
Strike 1 to Maddie Mentel. Credited with the RBI on the grounder in front of home plate. Back in the 5th inning that put the Catamounts on top. A couple batted in here in the doubleheader, 1 in each game. Swing and a miss. And she falls behind in the count, 0-2. In case you're wondering, Western just 2-6 in 1-run games this season. Wofford 6-7. Nearly half of their games in their first year decided by a run. On the move, Bell, throw down Lenzen, and that time Bell able to slide in just before the tag. So a 21st stolen base on the year for Bell. SoCon leader in that category. She's now 21 of 27 in her freshman season in stolen bases.
Another good throw by Lenzen, but Bell got a good jump there.
Swing and a miss, foul tipped into the glove, and the strikeout. Second time that Mentel has gone down by way of the strikeout. 7 in the game for Axelson, but she and the Terriers trail 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for the Terriers, and we'll get a pinch hitter to start things out in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Hope Engel, pinch hit for Megan Towery. Tom, during the break, you noted probably could see a run of pinch hitters.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got some folks with some pop. This is probably the time to get them in, unless you get a base runner on, and then you may operate differently.
Engel, a homer on the season, one of just 5 for the Terriers team. In the opening game, she got the start at catcher. Was 0 for 3, but drove in a run. 17 batted in on the year to lead the team. That skied to center field. Back on it in a hurry as Wells, and she makes the catch in front of the fence for out number 1. Good first step on that ball by Wells. A good read.
Yep, absolutely. Her first step was back, and I think if it's not, that ball may get over the head of Wells. Engel hit it well, but hit it to the deepest part of the park here at Hope Field.
Jim Plift over near that dugout, the head coach of Western. Got to be looking at it as pitcher Norton, because you remember the final out of the 6th inning was the blast by Devine to left field that was caught by the left fielder Baldwin right in front of the fence.
Caden Brinkman will now stand in as a pinch hitter.
Saw Brinkman in game number 1. She was a pinch hitter for Bigham, as she is now. 0 for 1 out of Bloomington, Illinois, middle part of the state. And a 1-0 pitch.
That off-speed pitch has really been a difference maker for Norton here in the last couple of innings.
Two and 1. Terriers just trying to get somebody on. Hard shot past the third baseman. McPherson couldn't handle it, heading to second and sliding in with a 1-out double. Caden Brinkman, and the Terriers have the potential tying run in scoring position.
Yeah, double down the line, took an inside pitch and drove it past McPherson. Got it down into the fence area. Wofford's going to bring in Lily Compton as a pinch runner for Brinkman, get some speed on the base. And it looks like Western Carolina is going to go to the bullpen here.
And I think you know who they're going to call on.
Only one left.
Yeah, not many choices, but Tessa Jewett come on in a save situation after she picked up a win in game number 1. So Norton's day is complete, and we'll come back to Spartanburg after this.